All right, so we want to start sitting up nice and straight in our seat. Okay, so look down at your feet and make sure that your feet are about hips width apart. That hips width apart, you can find by taking your two fists, pressing them together, and hugging the inner arches of your knees around your fist. And you relax the shoulders back, soak into the seat beneath you. Let the weight fall down from the legs into the feet. Slowly, we're going to take our arms and start to just stretch up high. We're just stretching. So let this be your first stretch of the day. Breathe in and breathe out. If you have to make a sound, make a sound. And then you can bring your hands back down. Shake it out a little bit. Lift up your legs. Kind of feel the way your body is connecting to this movement. Just get a sense of how you're feeling. All right. Notice if you're stiff in any place, you want to maybe send a little bit more energy into that space. All right, come back to center. Maybe take your hands and place them on your belly and just start to notice the way your breath now connects to your body. First, we kind of just stretched out a little bit, but now let's start to feel our breath. If you like to close your eyes, I invite you to close them. Allow for your mind to just completely focus on the way the body receives the breath. So notice that rise and fall of the chest and the belly. Maybe you can relax your shoulders on that exhale, letting go of any tension or stress. And there's nothing that you have to do here. Just be present. All right, let's take a few collective breaths in. On your next exhale, release all the stale air out of the body. And then inhale and breathe in. Let that breath flow in naturally. And then on the exhale, try to let that exhale be longer than the way the inhale was. So if you're letting go to a 3 count, your inhale should only be 2 counts. And if you go up higher, then it's going to be higher on that exhale. So we'll do some together. So let's do 2 to 3. Inhale, breathe in. 1, 2. And exhale, release. 3, 2, 1. Inhale, breathe in. 1, 2. And then exhale, breathe out. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Take a few more breaths, but drop your hands by your sides and see if you can continue that breath count, allowing for that inhale to be shorter than the exhale. Keep breathing. And while you're doing this, continue with your self-assessment here. You're still assessing the body. You're still gauging the way you feel. Maybe your heart or your mind is wandering a little bit. Try to just, for this practice, stay centered and stay focused. If your mind wanders, you can always come back to this breath. Always just reset with that shorter inhale and then add in that longer exhale. And gradually you'll come back to the present and then pick up where you leave off. Beautiful. All right, let's take our arms, lift them up high overhead. This time we are coming into seated mountain pose. Roll the shoulders back away from the ears. Breathe in, chest rises. Exhale, hands slowly and gradually come down by the sides. Let's do this 3 more times. Inhale, breathe in. Roll the shoulders back away from the ears. And then exhale, gradually drop the arms and let them come down by the side. 2 more times. Match the breath with the movement. Yes, maybe even smile as you bring your arms overhead. And then exhale, bringing those hands down by the side. One more. Close my email out here. Breathe in, arms overhead. Exhale, release. Hands by the side. And now shake it out. Beautiful. Beautiful. You can bring your hands to the tops of your thighs. We're going to come in for some head rolls. So it always helps to start with hands on top of thighs, just to gauge how your shoulders and your neck are, because sometimes we are really tight in this area. There's a really big difference between dropping your hands by your sides, where the weight is fully pulled away, than having your hands resting on top of your thighs, where you're supported and your arms aren't completely drooped down. Okay, so just start out here and then you can gradually bring your hands by your sides if you like. We're going to take our chin and place it into our chest. If your body's leaning forward, what I want you to do is tuck in your tailbone, sit up a little bit taller in your seat, and breathe. And then exhale and release, relaxing the body. Inhale, breathe in, allow for that breath to go through the back of the neck. Feel like the vertebrae in the back of the neck are decompressing. And then let the chin rest even closer to the chest. I'm just going to stay here for a second. Slowly take your right ear and bring it over towards your right shoulder. And just pause. You don't have to do anything. Breathe in and breathe out. Chin back to the chest, center chest. Left ear to the left shoulder. You're using the breath. No force. No tension. Chin back to the center chest. Right ear to the right shoulder. Again, no force, no tension. If you like to take your left hand and drop it down by the side, you can. And just notice the way that feels. If you want to kind of rub your hand back and forth like you're wiping something or washing it, you can do that as well. Bring that left hand back to the left thigh and just breathe a few more breaths in, noticing how that opened up the neck. Chin back to the chest, center chest. And breathe. Left ear to the left shoulder. One breath at a time. Drop your right hand now by by the leg. Let your arm dangle. And breathe. If you like to take the hand and just kind of wipe again, you can, or you can just let your arm dangle. And if it's just too much, you can keep your hands right on top of your thigh. And just pause and relax as you sit there. Bring your right hand back on top of the right thigh. Chin back to the center chest. And then take the gaze up. We're going to start to bring our body forward, keeping our hands on top of our thighs. And then we're going to just gently take the gaze up, back bending slightly, sending our heart up to the sky. We're not in a full cow pose yet or a cat pose. We're just getting prepared for it. So we're just lifting up the head and bringing those breaths in the body, noticing what that feels like. Notice how the chest expands and how that breath comes into the body. You have more space. And then when we kind of tuck in a little bit, and just a little one, just that little bit of that chest caving in, notice how it kind of gets stuck a little bit. Chin to the chest, decompress the neck. Make sure the feet are still hips width apart, hands are still on top of the thighs. Now we're going to take it a little bit further. On the next inhale, we are going to come into what resembles the cow pose. You can go as far as you like. It's like the second one. So first one, second one, you don't have to go crazy with it. Take about a breath or two. And then on the exhale of your choice, tuck in that belly, suck back the back of your body towards the chair. Chin to the chest. If you like to do one breath, one movement, continue with your cat-cow poses, seated cat-cow, and maybe do about 4 of these all together. Pressing the chest forward, lifting the heart up, exhaling, sucking the belly in, navel touches the spine, the back touches the back of the chair. There we go. And pull back. All right, come back to center when you're done. We'll all meet here. Try about 4 all together on your own. Beautiful, beautiful. You're doing a great job. All right, let's drop our hands by our sides. Again, make sure your feet are hips width apart because we're going to go through some stuff now where we want this lower part of the body to be secure. And we're going to lift up our arms, interlace the fingers, press the palms up towards the ceiling, roll the shoulders back away from the ears. We really want to keep the sits bone grounded into the seat. We want to keep our feet grounded into the floor. As we lean over towards the right, we pivot open the left arm and we look up. Coming back to center. We're going to lean over towards the left, pivot open that right arm this time and look up. Coming back into center. And then we're going to bring those hands down. We're going to take them all the way behind us. Interlace those fingers, press those shoulders away from the ears. All right. If you want to bring your chin to the chest, you can. If you want to bring your chest towards your thighs, you can. If you want to just keep your hands on your back, that's fine too. Okay. But those feet are nicely positioned on the ground to hold and support you. Undo your arms and then shake them out. Left and right. Arms reach overhead high. Roll the shoulders again away from the ears. This time we're going to go through a flow. Look up, gaze up. Exhale, bring the chest towards the thighs. And then this time, just relax. This is the first flow of the class. Just relax your chest on top of your thighs. Chin to the chest, chest on top of the thighs, arms drooped over, either by the sides of the knees or right in front. And just shake your head, maybe yes and no. And try to let go with your breath. Nothing to do and nowhere to go but to let go of breath. Inhale, half lift, flat back, come up halfway and hold it. We're not rushing through it. Actually even take your hands and bring them in front of you. Roll those shoulders back. You're in a chair pose in a chair. And then exhale, bring the belly back on top of the thighs. Inhale, arms rise, reach up, lift up overhead. Bring the hands together down through heart center and breathe. And just pause for a few moments. Hands come back up overhead high. Interlace the thumb, interlace all the fingers except for the index finger. Make like a smoking gun. Roll those shoulders away from the ears, but this time take your biceps and your triceps and just bring them up to your ears. Maybe even squeeze your head a little bit with those arms. And you're going to lean over towards the left. And you're looking forward, but you're just leaning over towards the left. Come back to center and then lean to the right. Keeping those arms squeezed, keeping the ears squeezed. Then come back to center. Undo the hands, mountain pose. Take your right fingertips, wiggle them, and bring the right hand down the back. Take the left fingertips, place them on top of the elbow, and just pull or like nudge that arm down. We're playing around with our biceps and triceps now, so you're going to feel a stretch on your tricep. Breathe through it. Take the hands back up into mountain pose. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Take the left fingertips, bring them down the back body. Right hand comes on top of the elbow, and you just pull back, stretching out the tricep. Arms come back up, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Beautiful. Bring your hands back down through heart center. Roll the shoulders back, sit up a little bit taller. Keep your heart elongated. Beautiful. Breathe in. Allow for the breath to come through the body. Imagine it makes it into the fingertips. And on the exhale, release. Let it go. All right, we're going to take our bodies and we're going to pivot over towards the right. Come back to center. Pivot towards the left. Come back to center. Now, based on that twist, Angie, at your feet. Based on that twist, you can keep your legs open like this and hips width apart, or you can bring them together. It's your choice based on the way you feel in that twist, okay? If you feel like it's easier to close them, you can go for it. I'm going to close them, but that's completely your choice. We're going to do a twist. So we're going to twist back over towards the right, and we're going to drop our hands to the outside of the right body. We're going to take our right hand and place it on the chair. If you want to just have it dangle, you can, or if you want to go for the top of the chair, you can do that and then look behind you, taking the chin over the chest. And I'll move my chair so you can see me. There you go. And breathe. Try to keep the chin aligned with the shoulder. It's okay if it's not. Mine's not even, but you just want to go in that direction of looking behind you. Breathe in, fresh air. Exhale, breathe out any frustration. Breathe out anything that's blocking, anything you can let go of, and try to just make peace in this pose. Use the breath to help you make peace. Fingertips to heart center. We're going to take our arm down, our left elbow, and it's going to come down right where it is. So you can be on your left thigh, it could be on your right thigh. That's fine. Just don't bring it down the middle. You don't want to pry open your legs. If you can bring it over towards the opposite leg, try to hook it over. Take the gaze up so that you're looking over that right shoulder. Whatever leg you're resting on is fine. And breathe. These are just different ways to loosen the back. Slowly squeeze the core and come back up. And then you're going to pivot back to center. Hands are back in front of you, back in front of your heart. You're again square with the room in front of you, and let's go on to the other side. So we're going to pivot our bodies over towards the left and then drop our hands. down to the outside of the left body, taking our left hand and bring it behind us. Finding a home for the hand or letting it dangle. And then our gaze is going to go over that left shoulder. Hands to heart center. Take that elbow, right elbow, wherever it is, as long as it's not in between the legs, find a home for it. Come down like an airplane. And if you can hook it over the left shoulder, the left leg, that's fine. You want to continue to look up over the left shoulder. But if you can't, don't worry about hooking it. Just try to rest that elbow on either leg. Come back up, squeeze the core, twist back to center. Hands are where they are. We're square again with the room in front of us. And breathe. No rushing, no forcing. And when you're ready, you can toe heel the feet apart, coming back into hips width apart. Hands come up high overhead, mountain pose, and just stay here in mountain pose for a moment. Roll the shoulders again away from the ears. Let the weight fall down your belly into your sits bone. Legs, hips width apart. Exhale, belly to the thighs. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, belly to the thighs. Inhale, arms rise. Gaze is up. Hands come down by the sides. Take your shoulders, roll them up towards the ears, and then just drop them back. Inhale, breathe in, roll the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, drop them back. As you're doing this, let your hands dangle. Let your fingertips dangle as much as possible. And then reverse and come forward. Beautiful. We're going to do some shoulder work too. And breathe. Arms come up in front of you. Roll the shoulders away from the ears. Take your right fingertip and place it on top of your left shoulder. Take your left and come underneath, coming in for your hug. All right, so you're coming in for your hug, but your elbows are off of the chest. So elbows are lifted up. Take the chin and bring it into the chest. Slowly back bend, lifting the elbows up. And just stay there for a moment. Chin to the chest through that hole that you can breathe in. Slowly, we're going to start to lower forward, keeping those elbows crossed, resting the belly on top of the thighs, chin to the chest. Holding yourself like you're hugging yourself. And let the neck be loose. When the chin comes to the chest, you'll feel your neck loosen. You'll feel it decompress. Squeeze the core slowly and start to come up. Take those arms up once again. Chin to the chest. Squeeze the core. Unwind the arms. And exhale it out. Beautiful, beautiful. Let's go through a flow and then do the other side. So arms lift, mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. And then bring the hands down in front of you. Roll those shoulders away from the ears. Kind of loosen up those shoulder blades a little bit. Wiggle your left fingertips and bring your left fingertips to your right shoulder this time. The right hand comes underneath. Keeping, again, those elbows away from the chest. So this is on the chest. This is away from the chest. Chin to the chest, just like we did with our head rolls. Feet or hips width apart. And you're just hugging yourself. It's like this weird kind of hug, but it's a hug. Slowly start to lift up through your belly, elbows to the sky. And then slowly lower down, pressing the belly towards the thighs. And then rest them on the thighs, chin to the chest. Squeeze the core, come up. Belly rises. Up we go. And come back to center. Unwind the arms. Beautiful. Awesome. Let's go through a flow. Arms rise. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift those arms up high. And then bring those hands down by the side and shake it out. All right. Let's start to loosen our lower back a little bit. So let's open up our legs. This is one of my favorite poses. Okay, this is really, really, really good for the lower back. We're gonna start to just sit up tall, make sure our hands are on top of our knees. So sit up tall, hands on top of the knees. Slowly lean forward, pressing the chest down, and then back up we go. Squeezing in and out, pressing the chest forward. You can go as far as you like. If you only want to go a little bit like this, you can do so. But it's up to you. I want you to try to get fluid as possible. Loosen up that back. Yeah, there you go. Now we're going to do some little rolly rolls. So once we come back up and we're stable, we're going to start to just rotate around. Maybe draw a circle with your hips. Keep your sits bone grounded into the chair. Yeah, there you go. And then let's reverse. Awesome. You are amazing. Come back to center. We're going to press our chest forward this time, but we're going to take that right shoulder and we're just going to dig it down and press into our thigh on the right side. And breathe. Slowly come up. Take that left shoulder and dig the left shoulder down. Pressing into the thigh. And breathe. Slowly we come back up. Let's do it again. First, get ourselves together. We're going to go through the whole set though. We're not just going to go straight into the dip. Now we're going to benefit from loosening up first the preparation part of that lower back. Now we're going to go deeper into our poses. So let's start out again, forward and back. And each time we do this, take your breath in and out, squeeze the core. Don't let the core just be loose. Squeeze the thighs. Feel as though that the thighs are stretching. The inner thighs, you should be feeling a stretch when you come forward. And then that pull on that belly is lifting up through the abdomen. Now we're getting deeper into the pose. We're not just doing it to loosen up. We're doing it with intention. Okay, there's a little bit of a different kind of experience. I'm going to come back to center, squeezing the core with that intention. Keep the sits bone grounded into the seat, just like it's melted. All right. And then reverse. Beautiful. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Again, we're going to take that right shoulder, so wiggle the right shoulder, and now try to dig it down. And you'll notice that you can go maybe even a little bit further. Maybe you can press in a little bit more into that thigh. The more you press into the inner thigh, the more you're going to stretch the right thigh. Why? Because the right hand is sitting right there at the bottom of the thigh where the knee is connected. It gives it that opportunity for you to choose how much stretch you want there. Very important to stretch the inner thighs. Slowly come up, squeezing your core up. Beautiful. Take the left, so wiggle that left shoulder and then dig it down. Again, same thing from the other side. Last time we did this, we were just getting the prep. This time you choose how much pressure you want to place into that inner thigh. Now, one side could be completely different than the other. Breathe in and out. Don't hold the breath. Try to keep the sits bone grounded into the seat. You should feel more energy coming from this. And then slowly come up, bringing in that breath. Beautiful. Take your right shoulder back, then your left. Beautiful. Toe heel the feet back together. Great. All right, arms rise, reach up, lift up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, bring your hands to your chair. So now we're going to start to work on the hamstrings, and then we're going to work on the hips before we do any other seated poses, like any seated warriors or anything like that. All right. So we still have some parts of these legs to get loose. So I want you to sit up nice and tall in your seat. Take your right foot, kick it forward. Squeeze that core and then gently lay it down. Heel is on the ground. Okay, so heel is on the ground. And then you can sit up a little bit taller in your seat. Get yourself comfortable. Soften the knee. So the right knee is soft. Breathe in and breathe out. That's all you're doing. You're starting to just, again, you're feeling the stretch. You're noticing where the hamstrings are. You're noticing how your knee feels. Bring that foot back to meet the left, back to hips width apart. Hold on to that chair again. Kick out on the left foot. And this time, bring the left heel down to the ground. And sit up a little bit taller. Yep, feel confident. Soften that knee. And breathe. Slowly bring that foot back. All right, before we go in and we do the extended leg, forward fold, I want you to shake it out left and right. All right, hold on to the chair again. All right, take your right foot, kick it out in front of you, heel down to the floor. Soften the ankle. Take the left, cross it over on top of the right. You can soften the ankles. Try to keep the toes up, saying hello. If you want to stretch them a little bit, you can, but come back to the heel. Heel on the ground. The heel is what's going to help keep you stable. So you want to have those legs out extended, heels on the ground. All right, you don't have to be rigid on the ankles. Sit up a little bit taller in your seat. And if you like, there's 3 different ways that you can do this. You can either just hold on to the chair and lean forward a little bit. You can drop your hands down by your side, and there's a full range that you can go here. And if you really are super, super, super flexible, or you feel like through the breath you're getting closer and closer to your legs, you can really just try to let go and let the chin tuck into the chest. And adjust as you need to. And what you'll notice here is that through each breath, it gets easier and easier to be in the pose. At first, it's kind of like shoddy, and there's just things that are maybe stopping the breath. But as you let go a little bit more at a time with each breath and trust it, you can start to just really feel yourself let go. And if you don't feel comfortable letting go completely, you can still have that experience by holding on to the chair. Squeeze the core, slowly start to come up. Belly, chest, and then head. Feet come back. Excuse me. Then the belly, chest, and head comes up if it's not up already. Sit up taller, roll those shoulders maybe back, maybe even close them together a little bit, and breathe. And then drop the hands by the sides. And let's go in through a flow. So arms rise, reach up, lift up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms lift. And then hands come down to the chair. All right, now we're going to go in for the other side. But before we just jump in on the other side, let's breathe. Beautiful. All right, we're going to take our left foot this time, and we're going to place it down on the floor. Take our right, place it on top. Beautiful. Breathe in and breathe out. Remember, keep the knees soft. Your ankles don't have to be rigid, but you do want your heels on the ground. Sit up a little bit taller. Good job. And then when you're ready, you can find the position that you want to stay in. Remember, holding the hands is an option. There's also letting go. And then there's letting the chin into the chest. And when you go through each one of these, you're going to adjust the legs to meet your needs. Okay. So you're not glued into the seat, but you do want to keep your sits bone grounded into the chair at all times. It's really a personal preference of how you feel. And we do hold the pose for a few moments. So just focus on the breath and the body. Ease into the pose, letting go more and more with each breath. Slowly come up, belly, chest, and then head. And bring those feet hips width apart. Just gain composure as you sit up, taking your time, rolling the shoulders again, maybe even closing those shoulder blades together, prop the chest open. Breathing in and out, letting the elongated neck accept the breath. Bring the arms overhead and go through your flow. Pressing the belly down to the thighs. Inhaling, half lift, flat back. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, arms rise. Gaze is up. Maybe even make a butterfly with your hands. Breathe in and out. Bring those hands in front of you. Roll the shoulders back away from the ears. Undo the little butterfly. Take the right hand, wiggle the right hand, sky flip it towards the ceiling. Take the left, pull it underneath and pull back. Then we're going to work on the other side of the leg, but I want us to notice how our hands are also part of the whole body equation. So let's do some hand yoga. You need to take a break. You bring the elbows by the sides and you just take that break, but you keep the connection, okay? So start to breathe, keep making sure your full body is engaged and active as you rotate each finger. Imagine that your breath can go from each fingertip down to your toes. And when you get to the thumb, wiggle it as needed. And then pull back. And then release those hands. All right. Arms come out in front of you again. Let's go on to the left hand. So wiggle the left fingertips, sky flip the hand. Take the right hand, pull it back. Beautiful. When you need a break, take a break. And start to wiggle each fingertip. All the way through to the thumb. And then bring the full fingertips back. And then rotate that hand down. Beautiful. Let's go through our flow. And then we're going to come down to the hips. The arms rise. Really stretch out those hands. And then on your next exhale, bring those hands down by the sides. Press your chest into your thighs. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms lift up overhead. And then bring the hands down and you're going to wrap it around the knee. So starting on the right knee, if it's too much to hover, just bring your toe to the ground, okay? But I'm going to show it with the hover. All right, sit up tall in the seat. You're propping up your chest. You're using the chair for stability. It's part of the practice. It's part of your tools. And then slowly we're going to lift up that knee and bring it in towards the inner arm. And then exhale, hands. Continue to hold the knee, chin to the chest. Inhale, up. Exhale, back down. On the next inhale, we're going to hold it for a moment. You feel the stability and then bring your foot on top of the opposite thigh. All right, so right foot is going to rest on the left thigh. You can move your feet as you need to. If this is too difficult, you can go back into the extended leg forward fold. And that's perfectly legit, but I'm going to show it with seated half pigeon. This is a really important pose. And also just to note, you can sit here like this. Even if your leg isn't all the way down like mine, that's okay. As long as you're in a position that you feel like you're not feeling any pain or any kind of sensation that's overly moderate. You don't want to go over that moderate sensation, okay? All right, so we're going to start off by just leaning forward and back, and that's the way we start to just loosen up the hip. Nothing big and fancy here, just little micro movements. We're keeping the upper body elongated, the full length of the spine, squeezing forward and back, and breathe. And then come back to center. If you want to stay like this, you can. You don't have to go anywhere else, okay? And that's exactly where you can go. But if you like to go and advance at another step, you can bring your forearms down to your thigh, or not to your thigh, I'm sorry, onto your foreleg. All right, and bring your head or your chin to your chest. And then a step further in advance is to dangle your arms over the leg. All right, so that really gives an intense stretch when it starts to come to your hips. So just be mindful of that. Go right to where you feel most comfortable. Remember, this is a full 360 degree of our thighs. So we got our hips, we have our hamstrings, And we have our inner thighs that we're stretching. All of these areas being stretched out will help our lower back. The breath really helps to loosen any emotional things that might be going on in our body. This is a place we hold a lot of emotions. And just be gentle here because of that. Slowly we start to lift up belly, chest, and then head. Okay. You want to take it slow. If you're already sitting up tall, that's great. You're ready where you need to be. For those who are coming out of the advanced positions in the pose, sit up a little bit taller, relax the shoulders. Maybe don't even open up the eyes yet. Just breathe in and breathe out and continue to breathe to any boundaries, any sensations you feel. Breathe around those boundaries and then allow it to just loosen. And let go. Ha. Try to stay present with your body. Good job. All right, we're going to take our fingertips, wrap it around, bring that knee up towards the inner arm. Maybe rotate the ankle a little bit, and then bring the leg gently, exhaling it back down to the ground. Beautiful. All right, let's go through a flow. So arms rise, reach up, lift up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, hands come down, and we're just going to scoop up on that opposite leg. This time, come to the left. If you want to keep that toe on the ground, you can. Otherwise, come to that hover position, letting the knee soak into the fingertips. And just pause and hold it for a second. No need to rush. On your next inhale, bring that knee up towards the inner arm. Again, keeping the sits bone grounded into the seat, using the chair as a tool to support you. And then exhaling. And this is where we start to just work out that thigh a little bit. Inhaling and exhaling, lifting the knee up and inward towards the inner arm. And then down it goes as it connects and is supported with the weight. And then inhale, back up we go. And find a home for your left thigh. Your left foot. You're going to place it on top of your right. When I guess it is kind of a home for your left thigh too, because wherever that space is, where it's located in that range, that's okay. And if you have to go back and do the extended leg forward fold, by all means, that's perfectly fine. All right, so let's just start to rock back and forth. Remember, this is just micro rocks. It's micro movement. Just enough to start loosening up that hip area. You're even going to feel some of this in the hamstrings and the glutes. This is a really, really, really vital pose to keep you walking, to keep you from injury. You got to do it on a regular basis, though, especially if you sit a lot. All right. We always want to try to loosen up this part of the body. This area is very important. When you feel like you're ready, make the decision as to where you want to go with your seated pigeon. Okay. Advanced is bringing the forearms down, head down to the forearms, and then super advanced is just dropping those hands all the way over. And then the less advanced, which doesn't mean anything. It just means that you're kind of just pushing yourself forward a little bit because that's as far as the boundary you want to take it. So those are your modifications. So find that place for you. And you're going to be holding this for a little bit. Okay. That's the way that it works. It's through the breath. It's not always through force. the force of movement. Sometimes it's just through the breath itself, this natural breath. And you can adjust the body as you need to. Slowly start to come up, belly, chest, and then head, but continue to maybe keep the eyes closed. If you're already sitting up, that's great. Maybe close your eyes and just breathe into those boundaries. Breathe into any sensation, being as caring and compassionate as possible. Let each breath be filled with that caring and compassion. Taking your time. Slowly taking the hands, wrapping them around the knee, rotating that ankle, and then bringing the foot back down to the mat. All right, we're actually going to be running low on time. So what we will do is we will go through a flow and then we'll come into Savasana. All right, so arms rise, reach up, lift up overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise. Make it count. It's your last flow of the class. Bring your hands onto the tops of your thighs. And before we actually come into Savasana, I invite you to take 30 seconds to do whatever pose you like. So if there's some kind of pose that I missed out on, just go for it. Take this time to just breathe through it. If you just want to sit here and ready, be prepared for Savasana, you can. Don't even look at me. I'm just going to sit here. I don't even want you to look at me. I want you to close your eyes and just empower yourself to choose that pose. And breathe. Yes, beautiful. Keep staying present with your body, doing what needs to be done for you. Say another 10 seconds. And then close the eyes. I invite you to close your eyes. You can get comfy in your seat. If you want to put your back up against the chair, you can, but you don't have to. Your hands can stay on top of your thighs, or you can sky flip them. You can place them on your belly. You can place them anywhere you like. Relax the feet. Relax the ankles. If the knees want to kind of fall apart from one another, that's fine. Relax the thighs. Relax the belly. Relax the heart. Relax the shoulders and the hands. Relax your voice and your self-talk. Loosen the face and let the tongue fall away from the top of your mouth. And relax your mind. And continue to just be here for the rest of this class present as you are. No fixing, no adjusting. Just allow yourself to be for the remainder of this class. As you begin to reset for your day, congratulate yourself on a job well done, because you didn't have to come here today or stay as long as you did. And thank you. Thank you for sharing the space. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, gently allowing the world around you to flow in. Bring your hands to heart center if it's in your practice to do so. I appreciate you joining me today, and have a beautiful, blessed day. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.